Greetings everybody, it's me here again to do another video, a follow-up. Today is Friday the 28th of November 2025. In my previous video I spoke about the digital IDs and the apathy towards that very significant trend, and I also linked it to the story of the 2020 and 2021 apathy towards the warnings of that coming vax solution, and how it led to what is happening today. That was in the previous video. The question begs to be asked, why are people in this apathy when it comes to certain information? Part of it is the control of information via the media, print media, television, etc. If people are so reliant on those forms of information, then they are at risk to being excluded from the real issues, the real news that's taking place. It's a case of the power of information and who controls the narrative. Now let me share with you a few anecdotal experiences I've had that I still remember very vividly, to show this power of information, incorrect information, or information that's lacking in the truth. Several years ago, over a decade ago, I was a teacher in America, specifically North Carolina, and I always remember, even to this day, when I was expressing something to a class, predominantly African American kids, an African American girl actually said, "But I thought that elephants and lions walk across the dirt roads. Don't they have dirt roads in Africa? And the people live in huts?" And then, I was hard pressed to explain to the student the truth, and I could see that she was not convinced. She was actually puzzled at the fact that a teacher is being dishonest. So she was totally hooked on, and there's several others who are in similar boat, on the information that they see on their TVs related to Africa. They see backwardness, they see undeveloped, they see wild Africa, and people living in huts and dirt roads, as they call it. The several decades ago, when they had that terrible drought in Sudan, for instance, where images were placed on television to show starving children, skin and bones, with flies hovering around their mouths and their eyes. That was broadcast regularly, and the idea is to give aid to the starving African kids in Africa. That is one image that has stuck with people, especially in a country where it's important to produce that image to the populace. Then there's also the experience I had with the African American teacher in the same teaching hall that I was teaching at. And deep into the teaching year, somehow there was a meeting took place in my classroom, and he came to me and he said that, but he's so surprised. He didn't know that Africa had so many countries, because I had posted on my wall, the August maps, political maps and geographical maps to show Africa. And he was shocked and surprised. He is a teacher, but he didn't know that Africa had so many countries within in it. He thought that Africa was one big country. That also expresses or reveals the ignorance that exists towards um, Africa in general. Then there's the assistant principal in the grade 8 hallway. When I had an interview with him, he asked me what am I going to do back in Africa. So I told him what I'm going to do, and then he asked me where is Sun City. So I told him it's a plane trip from Cape Town, um, a couple hours plane trip to get there, or by road it's over 12 hours drive from Cape Town to Sun City. And he was shocked. He asked me, do you have roads? And then I expressed the viewpoint that actually some of the roads here in the Cape are even better than the roads in North Carolina. And again, that look of disbelief and puzzlement. How can this teacher be telling lies or want to express something that's untrue? So these are anecdotal examples to show, for instance, that there's a lot of untruths and silly nonsense that's been spread about Africa, that it's undeveloped, it's backward. And you know, when Americans come to Africa and they see our huge cities like Johannesburg, Cape Town, and Durban, um, and other places, there you can actually see the shock on their faces, especially if they, for the first time, are exposed to what is actually really going on in Africa. So, coming back to the point I wanted to make is that that apathy that people have towards the truth is based on the misinformation and disinformation that comes from the narrative that's perpetrated and produced by the media as a whole. The media are responsible for controlling opinion making, and they control the narrative. And hence the reason that even now when we talk about COVID, and we talk about the vax, and um, how come there's something happening in society that's out of the norm, and about the digital ID and its significance, then they rubbish this information. Just like I know that even now, people that listen or see people like me coming with this information, it's like, what does he know? It's talking nonsense. They rubbish it, and I hope that through this explanation I've given, that there is an understanding that we need to give an ear um, to the contrary opinions, because lots of time the conspiracy theorists have been proven right over time. Um, so this cycle of ignorance continues uninterrupted, and hopefully, I hope through this information that people will be more tolerant and awake uh, to the truth, if they just reflect on the information. So um, there's much more to reflect on, but have a great weekend ahead.